and also demanding his arrest. His colleague, Sanjay Singh, on the other hand, has alleged that even an attempt to delete his wife Anita Singh's name from the voter list of New Delhi constituency has been made by the BJP. BJP, though, alleges an AAP hand in the illegal voter addition. But here's a fact. Behind all this bickering and blame game, we have now learnt that the Chief Electoral Officer of Delhi has received 82,450 deletion requests and 4.8 lakh new registration applications since just November 29th. Yes, just this last leg of the poll battle in Delhi. Imagine how much of an impact could this have in swinging any election. Now, in fact, let's take a look at certain ground reports that we've done on CNN News 18. This is a ground report that we first got from the Moti Nagar constituency, and here's what we found out. This is revelation number 1, where we are looking at Moti Nagar, where a site in Moti Nagar has 26 registered voters. So what is so unusual about that? What we have also found that out of these 26 registered voters, that particular site is not anybody's residence. It is an open plot with just an electricity meter. My colleague Akash Sharma has done that ground report, where we also got to know that out of those 26 registered voters, 14 voters have confirmed living in nearby areas, not on that plot of land, of course, which just has that electricity meter. And when we got to know about the other 12, there has been no contact with 12 out of those 26 voters. Now, let's take a look at another ground report that CNN News 18 has done. This is from Tughlaqabad constituency, and here's what we found out. 60 Muslim voters registered at the address of a person with a Hindu name. That is what we found out as first revelation. Revelation number 260 is what we are learning is that people living in Haryana slums have been registered as Delhi voters. They are not from Delhi. They are from a completely different state, but they have been, in fact, registered as Delhi voters. Now, let's take a look at another ground report that we've done. My colleagues have put out these ground reports as fact-finding, and this is coming in from Shahadra. Now, here's what we found out over here. Here, we found out that a woman is saying that several additional voters have been registered at her address alone. Then she also goes on to claim that Dilshad Garden RW has gone on to say that over 200 people have in fact shifted out years ago, and still they are very much part of the voters list. This is what we found out with the kind of ground reports that our colleagues have been in fact going ahead and speaking to the people about, and in fact getting to know about the details. So with Delhi polls round the corner, the battle over the voter manipulation has taken a dramatic turn, with both Aam Aadmi Party and the Bharatiya Janata Party accusing each other of attempting to manipulate the voter rolls in their favour. Now, this is what we are going ahead and asking. In fact, this is what we have done. The accusation has been presented in this form, where we are in fact presenting Aam Aadmi Party's point of view and of course the Bharatiya Janata Party's point of view. These are the claims that have been made by Aam Aadmi Party, where they say that the BJP is involved in a bid to get voters deregistered. To that, BJP is countering, and they are saying that Aam Aadmi Party is the one which is trying to get fake voters registered, and hence we see that that in fact data coming out by the Chief Electoral Officer, where they also claim about so many lakhs of new registrations that have been received. Some of them could possibly be fake. Now, the other claim that has been made by Aam Aadmi Party is BJP has got 5,000 voters deregistered in New Delhi. Out of that very claim, that is Arvind Kejriwal's claim. There's also Sanjay Singh's claim, where he claims that an attempt has been made to get his wife's voter name out of the voters list in the New Delhi constituency alone. To that, BJP is saying that multiple voters have been registered at the same address, something that our ground reports also in fact go ahead and reveal. Now, other claim that has been made by Aam Aadmi Party is that BJP is behind the bid to get the voters deregistered, something that we have been speaking about, and of course how Arvind Kejriwal has in fact also levelled this allegation against the Bharatiya Janata Party that in his constituency alone there are 7,000 new registrations that have been received. Now, BJP is saying that 60 voters registered at 1% address alone. Remember, this is a residential address that we are talking about. 60 voters have been registered at just that one address. Now, Aam Aadmi Party goes on to claim that BJP is trying to get its own fake voters added in the rolls. That is the allegation that Aam Aadmi Party goes on to level against BJP. BJP to that is claiming that Tughlakabad owner has in fact 60 voters registered under that one name, under that one address. Aam Aadmi Party is also going on to claim that BJP is trying to win the polls at any cost, and that's why we are seeing this back and forth, of course, and to which the BJP claims that there has been a rapid increase in the number of fake voters just ahead of the polls in the national capital. Now, amid this scheme, politics in Delhi is only intensifying. Now we are also learning that the All India Imam Association delegation has yet again tried to reach the residence of the former Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal over the issue of not receiving their salaries for the past 17 months. Yes, you heard that right. 17 months, no salaries for the imams. Remember, this also comes on the day when the Delhi government has announced an ambitious scheme of, in fact, providing 18,000 rupees per month of salary to temples, priests and also gurudwara prabharis. This is if at all Aam Aadmi Party wins the elections. Now, this is what has happened in this particular controversy. When it is about the Imam Association slamming the Aam Aadmi Party government, the first charge that they go on to make against Arvind Kejriwal-led Aam Aadmi Party is that they have not received salaries for 17 months. Then they further go on to claim that the Delhi government is responsible for paying the imams their monthly salary, something that has been not done for so many months, and despite having chased them for over 6 months. Then they go on to say that around 250 imams have been troubled due to this particular delay. Now remember, amid all of this, there has been a fresh SOP that has been announced. The other charge that they go on to level against Aam Aadmi Party is that there is no representation of imams due to absence of the Delhi Waqf CEO. Remember, the whole Amanatullah controversy, of course, has led to this fiasco. But the Delhi government is not choosing to address it at the moment. So to this, we are asking. This is the Delhi polls row over voter deletion. Aam Aadmi Party is in fact at the center of this. We're asking whether the Aam Aadmi Party is being taken for granted as far as the national capital is concerned.
हरदीप पुरी जी के पास और अमित शाह जी के पास सारा डेटा है कहाँ किस रोहिंग्या को बसाया, वहाँ उसको कर लो गिरफ्तार। ऐसी नौटंकी मचा रखी है, मतलब इन्होंने कोई देश चलाना थोड़ी है, सुबह से शाम तक नाटक करते रहते हैं।
2000 से ज़्यादा लोग अप्लाई करते हैं नया वोट बनाने के लिए। तो मैं ये पूछना चाहता हूँ अरविंद केजरीवाल ये वोटर आएगा, आखिर एक 50 साल का महिला या 50 साल का पुरुष दिल्ली में अचानक कैसे पैदा हो गया?
2021 में यहाँ के लोगों का कहना है कि कार्रवाई हुई है और उसको डिमोलिश कर दिया गया है, लेकिन वोटर लिस्ट में आज तक नाम चढ़े हुए हैं। और यहाँ पर जहाँ पर मैं फिलहाल खड़ी हूँ, ये जगह है T82। ये जो मेरे हाथ में पूरी लिस्ट है, यहाँ पर आप जहाँ जहाँ एड्रेस देखते जाएंगे ये सब T82 के एड्रेसेस हैं। 10 साल पहले कुछ बम्बई चले गए हैं, 5-6 साल पहले 2 लोग जो है वो लखीमपुर वापस चले गए हैं, पर वोटर लिस्ट में फिलहाल उनका नाम यहाँ पर नजर आ रहा है।
भगवान की पूजा करने वाले लोगों को पूजा करवाने वाले पुजारियों को और गुरुद्वारे में ग्रंथियों को हर महीने सम्मान राशि देने का प्रावधान है।
17 महीने की सैलरी इनको अच्छी तरह पता है कि 17 महीने से हमारी तनख्वाह नहीं मिली है। ऐसे ही तो आता नहीं है आदमी, इतना वक्त हमारे पास भी नहीं है। हम इमाम लोग हैं, हम बिला वजह चक्कर नहीं काटते।
Taking this across to my guests who are joining me this evening. Siddharth Sharma of the Aam Aadmi Party is with us. RP Singh of the Bharatiya Janata Party is with us. Also with us is Neeraj Mishra from the Congress Party. And last but not the least, Mohammad Amin, who's the ex-Joint Director of Election Commission of India, is also with us. Good evening, gentlemen. In fact, let me begin with the Aam Aadmi Party. Siddharth, why is this allegation, the counter-allegation really flying thick and fast, even as we hear from the Chief Electoral Officer of Delhi about so many deletions just on 29th of November and so many new registrations as far as the voter list is concerned in Delhi?
Yeah, Griha, Aam Aadmi Party has always claimed that we are not here to do politics, we are here to change politics. And for a change today, the entire nation is witnessing the entire BJP ecosystem questioning and displaying doubts on the election commission, while the Aam Aadmi Party is saying that we have full faith in the Election Commission because our representation had gone to the Election Commission, they had looked into it and said that no mass deletions or additions will be done. Now, as far as vote deletion is concerned, poor Bharatiya Gerrymandering Party, the Jain BJP now stands for, I think, gerrymandering. It thinks that by deleting Hindu votes in the name of Rohingya, it can win Hindu votes of Delhi. Tens of thousands of Hindu votes deleted from Shahdara to New Delhi. So much panic, didn't even check while deleting Rajya Sabha MP's Purvanchali wife's vote. Now, लगता है बीजेपी के बुरे दिन सही में आ गए हैं. It's lost its marbles completely. Aam Aadmi Party is going to give 2,100 rupees Mahila Samman to everybody. BJP wants to stop it. Aam Aadmi Party is going to give complete healthcare to people above 60. BJP wants to stop it. Aam Aadmi Party is giving free electricity to every citizen of Delhi. BJP wants to stop it. Aam Aadmi Party is giving Tirth Yatra to all the people who want to go on pilgrimages. BJP is neither giving it in its 20 states nor is it ready to give it. It's going to stop
Aam Aadmi Party is also giving salaries to priests, temple priests and prabharis, gurudwara, and nothing for the imams. That is a question that you are not addressing. But let's in fact stick to the voter
Shall I
list.
address that?
Yeah,
Shall
we
I
will go
address
to
that?
that. We'll go to that since you actually laid down so many points. I also thought let me bring in my two bits and ask you on the controversy that is raging right now. But Mr. Singh, would you like to respond to these claims that Aam Aadmi Party is making? And these are direct allegations against the Bharatiya Janata Party, where you had a senior leader of Aam Aadmi Party claiming that his wife's name, there has been an attempt, and not just once, twice, an attempt to get her name deleted from the New Delhi constituency.
I'll answer that, but first, before that, let me play a audio video of Mr. Amatullah Khan about the Rohingya voters in city and what he has to say.
आज हमने यहाँ जो परसों रोहिंग्या के लोग जिस कैंप में रहते थे, 1 महीने का राशन और 10-10 हजार रुपया कैश मैंने दिए हैं हर एक फैमिली को 10,000 रुपया. उसके बावजूद भी जब सरकार ने हटाने की
No, so he is saying 1 महीने का राशन और 10,000 रुपये दिए मैंने रोहिंग्या को, कैंप में रहने वाले रोहिंग्यास को. For them, there is a vote bank, and that's the issue which we raised with the Election Commission. That please ensure that Rohingyas and Bangladeshis are not incorporated as a vote in the city. They are not allowed to vote in the city. What's wrong in it? We are the alert citizen of city. And for any alert citizen of Delhi, we need to ensure that Rohingyas and Bangladeshis don't infiltrate into the city voter list. Oh, nothing wrong in it. And as far, I was just hearing a gentleman saying, Siddharth, saying that, oh, electricity Delhi mein sabko free hai. I give you a challenge. Ask him to show 10 bills, electricity bill, which are not free, which says no bill charge. 10, only 10. He is saying water is free. I give you a challenge. Mr. Kejriwal, let him go and drink water from his own constituency, Jhuggi cluster, Chanakapuri, or let him go to my Jhuggi cluster in my area, which is Gasgudam, which is Bihari Colony, which is A85, which is Sonia Gandhi camp, Rajiv Gandhi camp, and let him drink water for 1 week. After that, I'll get him treated in the private hospital because government hospital doesn't provide any treatment to poor now. So,
Mr. Singh, we will allow you to go on loggerheads on the SOPs that have been announced by the Aam Aadmi Party in government in Delhi, but there is a direct accusation, and I'm again asking you that question, that there is been an attempt.
Yes, I'm answering that also. I'm answering that. Mr. Siddharth will tell the lady who was complained, what's the name of the lady? Madhu Devi. Who is Madhu Devi? Please ask him to explain that. Who is Madhu Devi? And do you think BJP is so full that they'll delete the vote of the member parliament of city? No, it's not possible. It's just because they have to stay in news. That's why they have to do all this drama.
It's the
this
panic
all
that's
they
getting
do.
people
And give me Siddharth. I never interrupted you. Did I interrupted you? Did I interrupted you?
Yeah, please go
Why
ahead.
are you in panic? So I'm saying. So please tell me who's Madhu Devi and who's Suresh Devi, the two women who has filed a complaint against the member parliament's wife, honorable member parliament's wife. So it's all their game plan to stay in news. That's all. I mean, nothing more than that.
Siddharth, please respond. Non-political faces filing a complaint against Sanjay Singh's wife. That is what BJP is claiming, that they have no association with the Bharatiya Janata Party.
BJP should say that
they are Aam Aadmi Party workers.
Sir, again, sir, when
please go ahead, Siddharth, please respond. Yes.
Yeah, we showed a few days ago, that 10,000 people in Shahdara were asked by the Election Commission to delete names, and those were given by BJP office bearers on their official letterheads. Now, if the BJP is disowning them, then I think that the BJP spokesperson should be ready that their own workers will come to their houses in the evening and say that you asked me to give this letter with a seal, with a sign, and with your letterhead, and now you are disowning me. BJP just cannot do that. BJP has to understand that this nation, again, I'm telling you, this is a very strange thing, and I'll answer to that question of yours earlier that you asked about the imams. Very strange again today that the entire BJP ecosystem is batting for imams. It's a strange suicidal logic for BJP ecosystem to bat for a few dozen imams who were getting salaries till a few months ago, and which was stopped by the BJP central government after putting Arvind Kejriwal into jail. Just like things have gotten better after that, these things will also get better.
Is that accusation of shifting the goalpost doesn't it apply to you also, Siddharth Sharma? Doesn't it apply to you also, Siddharth Sharma? I'd like to understand from you, A, there is an attempt by the Aam Aadmi Party, visibly so, of distancing yourself from the minority vote bank, because here we are not just talking about imams, here we are also talking about the statement that has been made by the Aam Aadmi Party convener, Mr. Kejriwal, accusing Hardeep Puri of having a list of Rohingyas and how he should be arrested. What are you getting at?
I'm getting at the simple fact that this is the Home Minister's tweet that I'm showing you on your screen. You can enlarge it later. It says that the Home Ministry of India, when Rohingyas were brought to Delhi, the Aam Aadmi Party's Delhi government objected to it, and the Ministry of Home Affairs overruled it, saying that this is an issue that we are handling. And Mr. Hardeep Puri is on record saying that these Rohingyas will not just be provided services like water, electricity, they will be given homes which were meant for Delhi economically weaker sections and including police protection. Now the simple question, Griha, is if there is an infiltrator in your house, are you going to deport him or ensure that his voting rights are cancelled? If there is a thief in your house, will you try to impound his ID or throw him out and get him into jail? So if Rohingyas are in India, they have come from Bangladesh to India, the so-called nationalist government let those Rohingyas come into India, and if they know now that where the Rohingyas are staying, why don't they deport them rather than deporting them, saying that I'm going to ensure that they are not going to vote? It is simply that in the name of Rohingyas, they are trying to cut out the votes of Purvanchalis, like Mr. Sanjay Singh's wife. If they are Rohingyas, they should be deported, not their election IDs impounded. It is like a thief in your house. You're not going to impound your thief's Aadhaar card. You're going to impound.
Okay, let me bring in Neeraj Mishra. Neeraj Mishra, it is very, very evident, and it's not just through the political war of word that is going on between the Aam Aadmi Party and the Bharatiya Janata Party, that there is serious manipulation when it comes to the voter list in the national capital. We've had our colleagues go on ground and find out just that. We've seen how there is one address which doesn't even have a building, it just has a meter, and there are about 26 voters which have been registered over there. What is going on in Delhi?
Griha, what we feel is that Aam Aadmi Party and BJP, because for last 10 years they have been running an orchestrated government, now Aam Aadmi Party has pulled a leaf out of BJP's booklet only. Because if you analyze the results of Maharashtra election, we had given the fact that there was an exponential rise in the number of voters.
All right, some problem with Neeraj's link? Yeah, all right. Please go ahead, Neeraj.
Can I come in, please?
Am I audible?
Yes, Neeraj, you are. Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
So I'm just saying that during the Maharashtra Vidhan Sabha election result, we had given the facts that a lot of voters were added to Maharashtra Vidhan Sabha Assembly election. Now that the Aam Aadmi Party is also claiming the same, this thing does not hold true.
Okay, some problem with that link with Neeraj Mishra. Let me actually bring in Mohammad Amin over here. Mohammad Amin, we've seen this kind of political blame game happen every now and then. But specifically, if we talk about elections in national capital, it is just getting murky by every passing day. First, and that was the point that Neeraj was making about how EVMs are to be blamed on the kind of mishap that the Congress party really saw in Haryana. And I thought that he was getting at a self-goal over there, because if you win an election, then the EVMs are not to blame. If you do not win an election, then you go ahead and blame the EVMs. Do you think something similar is happening here when it is about the bickering between Aam Aadmi Party and BJP? Mohammad Amin?
वालिया जी, just I want, हाँ, जो वालिया जी, I am going to clear it that Election Commission of India is working independently, not working any control or any ministry or any government. That is independent as constitutionally power by the government, by the Constitution of India to Election Commission. So the Election Commission is doing their free and fair poll in the country as well as state, as well as the state. You can find the CEO is working here in Delhi as the Chief Electoral Officer. He is controlled by the Election Commission of India, and they are working under their DOs and AEROs and ROs. They are working also under the Election Commission of India. They actually, every voter has the right as per constitutionally given, and Election Commission is always having the to increase their voting percentage in every state and all over the country for the election betterment. And if they are belonging to their parties, always they have the objections. But I am going to tell you, if the BJP is giving any representation to the CEO or AEO or DEO, so they can take their representation, they cannot deny, and they can forward the query, and that goes up to the BLO. As BLO is up to by BLO, the report is coming.
But Mohammad Amin sahab, aapse bas ye janna cha rahi hu. This is what I want to understand, and I'll go back to the data that I also spoke about at the very beginning of this broadcast. More than 82,000 requests have been made for the deletion of certain names from the voter list, and there has been more than 4.8 lakh new registrations. And that is just, it dates back to just this November. We're not even going back further into this particular year that is almost about to end. How does this happen, and what explains this?
Actually, every election, before the election, Election Commission officials are going door to door to update the correct voters. Sometimes the voters can migrate from that place, and sometimes they are.
No, if that is happening, sir, if that is happening, then how are so many constituencies, and we have that through our ground reports, seeing so many voters at one particular residential address, and we are talking of voters to the tune of 26, 41. These are the numbers at one residential address. How is it possible that if every election, the Election Commission goes ahead and finds out whether the people who are on the voter list are in fact residing at that particular address? How has that discrepancy really occurred, and discrepancy at such a large scale?
Election Commission of India has given the reforms. So that's why this government, present government, has given last 2-3 years back, the Aadhaar card is attached with the voter ID card to control these things. So every person of the voter, they have the Aadhaar card and they have the voter ID card. If
Okay,
the
and
same,
yet nothing really seems to be working as far as that is concerned. RP Singh, your word now.
No.
There were several allegations that have been made by Mr. Siddharth Sharma of the Aam Aadmi Party. Of course, one of them is that there is a fair amount of appeasement when the BJP chooses to have that right ahead of elections. And of course, the addition or deletion of names and appeasing Rohingyas is one of them.
Well, they are questioning the Election Commission. Just few days back, Mr. Kejriwal on record has praised the Election Commission for the work.
With the
Can I?
Yeah, Mr. Singh.
So it's up to Kejriwal to decide whether the Election Commission is doing a good job or bad job. But yes, if there are votes which are not the residents of city, they need to be taken care. How can a non-resident be a voter here? So that's the question. And let Election Commission do a fair play on that, and let them fairly look into the complete matter and ensure that people who are not residents of city, they should be deleted, and people who are resident, they should be incorporated. What's wrong in it? But only thing is, they have to play politics into it. They have to bring Purvanchali, but they won't talk about Rohingyas. I just played an audio video of Mr. Mutullah Khan saying that yes, हम लोग 10,000 रुपए देंगे इनको, हम इनको राशन देंगे. Rohingyas है तो क्या हुआ? For them, because Rohingyas and Bangladeshis are vote bank for them. For them, they are the more important vote bank than the Purvanchalis or the citizen of Delhi.
Siddharth Sharma, your response, the Revdi culture jive that's associated with the Aam Aadmi Party is something that has been associated with your SOP announcements not leaving you.
Yeah, in fact, Aam Aadmi Party believes that when every kid is born in India, the day he or she is born, the first milk he drinks, he is giving tax to it. when every government is taking tax from the people, we are supposed to give it back to the people. That's why this is, we agree to this revenue culture, because since we are taking that sugar and raw materials from the people of India or from people of Delhi to the tune of 70,000 crores, we have to make that raw material into something better and give them back as kheer or revenues, and that's what we are doing. When we are giving 35 lakh to consumers of free electricity.
So implementation of the revenues are a problem, and that has been questioned by not just the BJP but also the Congress.
Absolutely not. It's on the other hand, contrary, Griha, the CAG is on record saying that it's like I'm a software engineer, I am earning 70,000 bucks a month. Now, if I ensure that with that 70,000 bucks a month, I ensure that I give free education.
So, chaliye, finally, kya hoga? What does the voter of Delhi really expect in between this bickering that Aam Aadmi Party and BJP is doing? And I ask closing comments for both of you gentlemen, Mr. Singh and Mr. Siddharth Sharma. What does the people, or what do the people of Delhi really do amid this political blame game? Iska hal kya hai? What is the solution?
इसका हल एक ही है कि सच दिखता है। इन्होंने 1000 रुपए अनाउंस किया था मार्च के महीने में कि हम मार्च के महीने में इन्होंने कैबिनेट अप्रूवल ले लिया। सो लेट देम पे दैट 9,000 रुपीज फर्स्ट एंड देन लेट्स टॉक अबाउट 2,100 रुपीज। 9,000 रुपए पहले दे मार्च से लेकर दिसंबर तक का, फिर 2,100 रुपए की बात करें। वो 9,000 देंगे नहीं, क्योंकि इन्होंने ना 1,000 रुपए देना था ना इन्होंने 2,100 रुपए देने। मैंने अभी कहा दिल्ली में चेक करिए वाईफाई फ्री है क्या? याद है कितना ढोल पीटते थे वाईफाई फ्री, फिर कितना ढोल पीटते थे कि हमने एक घोल ढूंढ लिया है। We have found a goal, some liquid to ensure that parali is taken care, and they spent something like 6 crore rupees on the publicity of that liquid. But what happened thereafter? Delhi still suffers from the pollution. Delhi needs 15,000 buses today.
Okay, quick response.
7,200 buses.
Siddharth, quick response. I have to close this.
I think Griha, people know now that BJP had a choice to compete against Mr. Kejriwal.
People know that you only come.
Sir, आप जब बोल रहे थे
you've had your chance. Yeah.
अपनी उम्र का तो ख्याल रखिए.
No, please, no personal comments. Siddharth Sharma, make your closing comments, please. 10 seconds.
People expected BJP to compete with Kejriwal's competence. Instead, BJP got spooked by Kejriwal's competence. Aam Aadmi Party will give 2,100 Mahila Samman. BJP will stop 2,100. BJP is going to stop free electricity. Stop Tirth Yatra. Stop women free bus service.
Counter allegations, and that is really flowing thick and fast. There is no end to that, and this will be only heating up right up till the assembly elections in the national capital in 2025. We leave it at that. Now, the H-1B visa debate is heating up in the United States of America. It's the Make America Great Again campaign versus tech titans immigration battle of US over Indian techos. Details on the other side.
MDH का किचन किंग
A major controversy has erupted at the closing stages of the Melbourne Test, with the wicket of Yashasvi Jaiswal being the biggest talking point. It was a controversial decision for many of the Indian fans, but a decision that Australia would have welcomed, because that opened the floodgates for Australia. With India succumbing to yet another loss, they head into the Sydney Test now with a deficit of 1-2, with Australia leading 2-1 and very much in contention to retain the VGT for the first time in 8 years. But let's talk about the controversial decision first. What it was actually that happened in the 71st over, when Pat Cummins, coming over the wicket, bowled a bouncer to Yashasvi Jaiswal, and Jaiswal tried to hook the delivery, only managing to get a very faint edge off his glove taken by wicketkeeper Alex Carey. Australians went up with an appeal, but on-field umpire Joel Wilson turned down the decision, which was again referred to the TV umpire, and TV umpire Sharafuddollah Saikat reviewed the replays, and on the basis of the primary evidence that he had on the deflection on that delivery, Yashasvi Jaiswal was given out, overturning the decision of Joel Wilson, which pretty much divided the opinions. Indian fans at MCG really calling the entire proceeding and showing their frustration, venting out with chants of cheaters, but if you look at the decision, how it panned out, as you can see on the screen very much clearly, the replay show there was a very clear deflection there as the ball passed Yashasvi Jaiswal a glove, and noted umpire Simon Toffel also said that the TV umpire's decision here was right, because there is a hierarchy of redundancy which the TV umpires use. The first primary evidence was this deflection itself, which was what Saikat, the third umpire, went in with. The sneakometer did definitely come in, but that was only to confirm or just to support the fact that whether the deflection also was picked up, the audio of the deflection was picked up on the sneakometer, which unfortunately was not the case. And here is where the veracity of the technology also comes into play. But when the sneako did not show any spike, which has led to the controversy, when it was flashed on the big screen, everybody saw it. Even Yashasvi Jaiswal was aghast with the fact that there was no sneakometer, there was no reading on sneakometer, yet he was given out. But the decision to give Jaiswal out was based on the primary evidence, which was the deflection here, and there was no other need for Saikat, the third umpire, to go to his secondary form of evidence, which was the sneakometer. Here he stuck to his first evidence, which was the deflection, and that is where India pretty much lost out the game, because if Jaiswal would have continued to bat for another 10-15 overs, which was close to the stumps on day 5 itself, India could have salvaged that draw, but that wicket really opened up the floodgates for Australia, and India went on to lose 3 more quick wickets, and Australia wrapped up the innings claiming a win, and they head into the Sydney test with a lead of 2-1. With this loss, what it means that India will need to win the Sydney test to retain the Border Gavaskar trophy, and also this also puts a big blow to their World Test Championship qualification scenarios as well, because this would mean India not only have to win the Sydney test to draw the entire Border Gavaskar series to.
Welcome back. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Griha. Now, just days after vociferously defending the H-1B visa program and pledging to go to war over it, tech magnate Elon Musk ended up calling for major reforms to the broken H-1B visa system. Musk's remarks, in fact, come in as social media is raging over the future of H-1B program, which allows US companies to hire skilled foreign workers. It is particularly favored by Silicon Valley firms, but the far right has attacked the program, with the discourse sometimes taking on racial overtones. Now, here's what Elon Musk has said, and I'm quoting, "This program is broken and needs major reform." He also says, and I quote, "I will go to war on this issue, but the reason I am in America is because of H-1B visas." Remember, he in fact migrated from South Africa, and he is currently reigning over US. It is because of H-1B visas. Now, he also goes on to say that raise the salary and add a yearly cost to fix this issue. In fact, he's proposing fixing the system by raising the minimum salary for visa holders and introducing an annual cost for maintaining the very visa. Now, he's also going on to say that make it more expensive to hire overseas than domestically, saying that such measures would make it materially more expensive to hire from overseas than domestically. He also says that elite engineering talent from abroad is essential for America, further saying that celebrating prom queen over maths champion won't produce best engineers. Now, remember, Musk's remark come as social media has continued to, in fact, talk about this new development where it has become a very evident clash between Make America Great campaigners and also Elon Musk. Now, this, in fact, is particularly talking about how Silicon Valley firms have gone on to hire many people who are H-1B visa holders. Now, if we tell you as to how these reforms in H-1B visa will impact the Indians particularly, let's take a look at those points one by one. We are, in fact, learning that these reforms could benefit Indians who account for 72.3% of the population. This was in the past, Indians accounted for the majority of H-1B applications. But for now, what has happened? These reforms may be a challenge for nations like India. Why do I say that? Because it puts a cap on H-1B visas to citizens of one nation alone. What has happened now is that a maximum of 7% of the total H-1B visas will be allocated to a single nation, and that will put India on the downside because of so many applicants. The applicants beyond the limit will not get the visa. Now, this may result into lengthy delays for Indian applicants. So this is what really has happened as far as this controversy is erupted. And of course, Elon Musk's comments are not really going down well with the far-right activists. In fact, we will take a look at the other debate that we are having on Plain Speak, and that is to do with the alleged sexual assault case at Anna University in Tamil Nadu. Stay tuned for that.
A major controversy has erupted at the closing stages of the Melbourne Test, with the wicket of Yashasvi Jaiswal being the biggest talking point. It was a controversial decision for many of the Indian fans, but a decision that Australia would have welcomed, because that opened the floodgates for Australia. With India succumbing to yet another loss, they head into the Sydney Test now with a deficit of 1-2, with Australia leading 2-1 and very much in contention to retain the BGT for the first time in 8 years. But let's talk about the controversial decision first. What it was actually that happened in the 71st over, when Pat Cummins, coming over the wicket, bowled a bouncer to Yashasvi Jaiswal, and Jaiswal tried to hook the delivery, only managing to get a very faint edge off his glove, taken by wicketkeeper Alex Carey. Australians went up with an appeal, but on-field umpire Joel Wilson turned down the decision, which was again referred to the TV umpire, and TV umpire Sharafuddollah Saikat reviewed the replays, and on the basis of the primary evidence that he had on the deflection on that delivery, Yashasvi Jaiswal was given out, overturning the decision of Joel Wilson, which pretty much divided the opinions. Indian fans at MCG really calling the entire proceeding and showing their frustration, venting out, with chants of cheaters, but if you look at the decision, how it panned out, as you can see on the screen, very much clearly the replay showed there was very clear deflection there as the ball passed Yashasvi Jaiswal a glove, and noted umpire Simon Truffle also said that the TV umpire's decision here was right, because there is a hierarchy of redundancy which the TV umpires use. The first primary evidence was this deflection itself, which was what Saikat, the third umpire, went in with. The sneakometer did definitely come in, but that was only to confirm or just to support the fact that whether the deflection also was picked up, the audio of the deflection was picked up on the sneakometer, which unfortunately was not the case. And here is where the veracity of the technology also comes into play. But when the sneako did not show any spike, which has led to the controversy, when it was flashed on the big screen, everybody saw it. Even Yashasvi Jaiswal was aghast with the fact that there was no sneakometer, there was no reading on sneakometer, yet he was given out. But the decision to give Jaiswal out was based on the primary evidence, which was the deflection here, and there was no other need for Saikat, the third umpire, to go to his secondary form of evidence, which was the sneakometer. Here he stuck to his first evidence, which was the deflection, and that is where India pretty much lost.
Welcome back. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Griha. Now, in the aftermath of the alleged sexual assault that happened at Anna University on December 23rd, TVK President, actor politician Vijay, in a handwritten letter, had asked to the women folk on campus who can be asked to make women feel safe in Tamil Nadu. And distribution of that very handwritten note as pamphlets has led to the detention of Vijay's closest aide and TVK leader, Basyanath. Remember, this also came in close on the heels of Vijay's meeting with Tamil Nadu Governor R.N. Ravi at the Raj Bhavan to submit a petition regarding the safeguarding of law and order in the state. Earlier, we'd seen how the state BJP chief Annamalai had staged a symbolic protest against the state government. Even the AIADMK isn't far behind in accusing the DMK of failing on maintaining law and order in Tamil Nadu. And now, with the NCW taking suo motu cognizance in the matter by swiftly forming a fact-finding committee to investigate the incident, and the Madras High Court ordering an SIT probe in the matter, also directing the state government to pay a 25 lakh rupee compensation for the victim for the serious lapse on part of the police in revealing details of the victim's identity in the FIR, we are now asking if the MK Stalin administration really is finding itself cornered here. Now, amid the uproar, the probe gains momentum in the Anna University sexual assault case. Now, we are learning that the National Commission for Women has initiated its own probe into the sexual assault incident at Anna University. After taking suo motu cognizance of the matter, the NCW team has already begun an on-ground investigation at the university campus to collect facts and ensuring justice for the victim. The Madras High Court has also taken swift action in response to the serious nature of the sexual assault case. In fact, the court has ordered the formation of a special investigation team to probe the incident in a fair and transparent manner. A major concern in the case has been the leak of the victim's identity through the FIR. The SIT will not only investigate the sexual assault but also probe the leak of the confidential information that led to the victim's identity being exposed. Now, in a significant step towards ensuring that the investigation is handled swiftly and in accordance with the victim's dignity, the Madras High Court has directed the formation of a 3-member all-women SIT. Remember, the accused in the case has already been arrested and, according to reports, has confessed to the crime as well. Now, we are asking, amid this Anna University case storm, DMK government, is it on the back foot really? And that is the big question on everybody's mind.
ये जो एक्यूज़ है ये हैबिचुअल ऑफेंडर है। पुलिस ने इसमें ध्यान नहीं दिया है। अगर पहले से ध्यान होता था तो शायद ऐसी घटना नहीं घटती थी।
Tamil Nadu, the government is total failure to maintain law and order situation in the state.
Taking it to my guests who are joining me this evening, Anandan of the Bharatiya Janata Party is with us. Pulla Rao is a political analyst, backs the DMK, is with us. Also with us is Brinda Adige, social activist. And last but not the least, Dr. V. Veera Vignesh, who's the spokesperson of the TVK, is with us. Well, I like the fact that this entire panel is dominated by women, and that's something that is much needed. I will begin with Dr. Veera Vignesh. The fact that there has been a detention of one of your senior leaders, ma'am, how do you, in fact, see these developments?
There's no business introducing me as back
yes.
DMK. Bye-bye.
Is, Dr. Veera Vignesh?
This is the DNA of a DMK attack on the opposition party in order to divert from the main issue. First thing is, from the day one of the DMK government, they are unable to maintain law and order in a state which reflect a series of alcohol movement, illicit alcohol movement and drugs, which reflect to attack and movements throughout the state.
No, but why do you think the detention really has happened? Just on the account of distribution of the pamphlets or the letter?
Our party leaders are never protest there. They just distribute the awareness to their women, children. The letter was written by our leader, beloved Talavar Talabadi. He is known for the brother of every single family of Tamil in Tamil Nadu. He write a letter to the all Tamil family as a brother. The letter was distributed by our cadres to the all women and girls who are studied in the colleges. So they are not disturbing anybody. So the detention is reflect the fear of the DMK government.
Okay. Ms. Uma Anandan, would you like to in fact take this forward, considering there has been one of the arrests of a TVK leader? In this case, the accusation is that he was distributing the pamphlet where there was a message by, actor turned politician Vijay, the TVK president. We have also seen how your leader Anna Malai decided to go into a penance protest, decided to whip himself 6 times, and that was a symbolic protest against the Stalin administration, and yet there's no response, no constructive one at that by the DMK yet.
See, it is very obvious that the present government is going on a rampage. It is vindicative. It is not able to digest the fact that their own functionary, they are denying that he belongs to the DMK. This is being refuted by them, while their own posters reveal that he is a functionary and he has taken part in the Kalaignar centenary and the DMK's mouthpiece Murasoli itself carried a photograph of this person with the DMK people. So they are in a denial mode and they are taking action against anybody and everybody. Age is no bar. See, a old woman who threw stone or dung on the Stalin's poster is being searched. They are not able to nab the culprits in the law and order situation 2 years ago. When I wouldn't like to use the word which was used in the water tank, the culprit is still at large. It's more than 2 years. They are not able to nab the culprits of so many crime records, but they are going after the opposition, which is talking about the law and order breakdown in the state, and crimes are increasing against everybody. Why are they not able to digest the fact that they have to set the record straight? The last straw in this thing was the 2-judge bench, Mr. Subramanian and Mr. Lakshmi Narayan's judgment, their observation. You read the paragraph from 8 to 10. The present government regime should go through that. And how was the FIR leaked? The girl's privacy being breached upon. How is the commissioner coming on saying that, revealing so many confidential facts which he is not supposed to do? This has been commented upon by the judges. I am not commenting about it. The judges have commented about it. He says the culprit's phone was on flight mode. And what is the word sir? He says there is only one culprit. How did the commissioner arrive at that conclusion? And why is the FIR leaked out? The girl's privacy breached upon, which is the most heinous crime in such cases. We have the Supreme Court verdict on these things. There is a lot of things that the government has to answer instead of going on a witch hunt against the people who are trying to raise this issue.
Can I bring you in? Would you call this a witch hunt really? Do you think this is the high-handedness of the DMK administration under MK Stalin? Because whatever they seem to be associated with is completely making them or probably putting them in the dock. And here we have unfortunately no member of the DMK to defend their case. But what is their case really?
I wouldn't want to comment on what is the DMK's case. But what I would like to reiterate over here is the state must be held accountable. Like that is their job. So it doesn't matter even if it is Vijay who's asking a question or going and meeting the governor and seeking for the state agencies to become more accountable, to become systematic and to become effective. Now that said, we also know that cases of sexual abuse and assault on girls and women across India is not being taken seriously by any government. I don't want to name anybody, but let us place on record not a single government in the union or in the states are taking things seriously where women and children who are sexually being assaulted and abused are running pillar to post. Now that said, we also know that the impunity stems from having these political associations and affiliations, that they will get away with it. And if you
although they are denying it, Vrinda, but you know, there is one really worrying fact. This person who is the accused in this sexual assault case is a history sheeter. He has been involved in other petty crimes. I should not call them petty, but the fact that he was readily moving inside the campus, what does it say about the security that is well within the campus? What is the administration, the university administration, and in turn the DMK administration really doing about this? Because people are there in universities to study. What about the Vice Chancellor? Why is that post really vacant? So many questions.
Absolutely right. All of those questions, but whether the post is vacant or it is filled up is secondary. Whoever is there in the management has the responsibility to ensure security of students, because they have it on their board that these people who come into the college or university to study, the university is taking responsibility for their safety. The university is assuring the parents and the guardians of the students who are coming there that they are safe. And that is the trust and confidence that parents have placed in the university. So whether there is a vacant post or not is secondary, but the university must also be part of the charge sheet. They are equally responsible, just like that rapist and sexual assaulter.
Wait, ma'am, Miss Uma, I would like to understand from you. In fact, before I go to you, we also have Syed Asad Abbas, who's joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Abbas, I would just take an introductory comment from you. What do you make of this sexual assault case that is being reported out of Anna University and the entire politicization that we see happening, unfortunately, over this? But we do see how the opposition is strongly united, but against the DMK administration over what has really emerged in this assault case.
Ma'am, Anna University is undoubtedly one of the finest universities that we have in our country today. It is shocking, it is disheartening to learn of the incident. Now let us understand the merits of the case. You know, many a times the opposition, of course, is the backbone of democracy. They are rightful in their nature to protest and question. But what is the opposition doing right now? They are peddling lies, and I'll tell you the first lie. Today, the minister in charge here in Tamil Nadu, Mr. Raghupati, came out and said, this particular criminal, alleged criminal, does not belong to the party. He's not a member of the student wing or the youth wing.
So why was there a picture of him with Udaynidhi Stalin? Why has there been no explanation about
posters.
that?
What about the posters?
So he explained.
What about the posters?
He explained,
let him respond,
saying that, yes, allow me to respond, ma'am.
Sure.
Thank you. He also explained that in the field of politics, many a times, there are shady elements, there are criminals who tend to get close and get a picture. He also mentioned, the minister Raghupati mentioned, that this picture, there is a gap between Mr. Udaynidhi Stalin and this particular alleged criminal. Let us also understand what.
So you're saying that the image was doctored? You're saying the image was doctored? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Not at all. I'm not saying the image was doctored. It could be a real image, but there was a gap between Mr. Udaynidhi Stalin and this gentleman.
Okay.
Many times
so you're saying he could have just walked in. But what about the fact that there has been a detention of a TVK leader, a general secretary level leader at that, just because he was distributing a pamphlet that had the letter of what Vijay addressed to the women folk in the university? Why that detention?
Ma'am, investigation on that front are also going on. In fact, these same questions were raised to DMK. In fact, Kanimosi Karunanidhi, who's the member of parliament, also mentioned that, the state...
No, but why the detention of a TVK member? We do not understand that.
Ma'am, as per DMK, they are investigating the case on that front. There are other allegations as well on that. Certainly, if the TVK leader is not doing anything or peddling lies or propaganda, he shall be set free. No doubt
Dr. Veera Vignesh, would you like to respond to this?
One quick important point, ma'am. 30 seconds, allow me, please.
Sure.
The DMK stand here is that the Honorable Chief Minister, M.K. Stalin ji, is fully standing with the police, the law and order. Of course, there were a couple of lapses which took place, but the fact of the matter is the alleged criminal was... Within the matter of 4 to 5 hours, he was arrested. And also, let us understand, the state DGP has welcomed the special investigation team along with 3 IPS women police officers. That
is after the Madras High Court has ended up pulling up the police, and that is curious. That's a very, very grave lapse of revealing the identity of the victim. Dr. Veera Vignesh, let me actually bring in a quick word from you, and then I'll come to you. I'll come back to you, Mr. Abbas.
I want to describe the DMK government of 3.5 years in 2 points. One is media management, another is crackdown on dissent voice. These are 2 activities done by DMK government through this 3.5 years. They know nothing about their administrations. Through the 3.5 years, illicit alcohols in Kallakurichi and Marakana.
Let me ask you a simple question, Dr. Vignesh. Do you think this attempt to detain a TVK General Secretary level worker leader at that is because there is some sort of a, do you think there is a cornering of DMK that has happened? Do you think they fear that Vijay is entering the political landscape of Tamil Nadu is something that will dampen their sort of political sway here in the state? Do you think it has happened? That is why this has happened?
It reflects the fear of the DMK regime. For Talapati will be end this disaster the DMK government in 2026.
All right. Ms. Uma, do you feel that? Ms. Uma Anandan, do you also feel that? Another political entrant in the Tamil Nadu sphere of politics. All right.
Yes, definitely it is there. It is very obvious. I would like to ask a DMK supporter, why was a DMK mouthpiece? Murasoli is a DMK mouthpiece. He agrees? And there you have the photo. And why was this history sheeter allowed to go scot-free, not being under the surveillance? He has repeatedly committed crimes. This is not the first time. And the same similar crime he has committed earlier. And his entire family is involved. And in his house, there were DMK posters painted on the wall. Why was it pasted on the wall? Why have they removed it all of a sudden before they went? They are trying to hide the fact that
I'll have to wrap it over there. I'm really completely out of time. I'd like to thank all my guests for joining me on the broadcast. I think the question remains that there have been serious security lapses as far as the campus, the Anna University is concerned, and the DMK-led Stalin administration has a lot of answering to do as far as that is concerned. We'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching.
विकास
A major controversy has erupted at the closing stages of the Melbourne Test, with the wicket of Yashasvi Jaiswal being the biggest talking point. It was a controversial decision for many of the Indian fans, but a decision that Australia would have welcomed, because that opened the floodgates for Australia. With India succumbing to yet another loss, they head into the Sydney Test now with a deficit of 1-2, with Australia leading 2-1 and very much in contention to retain the BGT for the first time in 8 years. But let's talk about the controversial decision first. What it was actually that happened in the 71st over, when Pat Cummins, coming over the wicket, bowled a bouncer to Yashasvi Jaiswal, and Jaiswal tried to hook the delivery, only managing to get a very faint edge off his glove, taken by wicketkeeper Alex Carey. Australians went up with an appeal, but on-field umpire Joel Wilson turned down the decision, which was again referred to the TV umpire, and TV umpire Sharafuddollah Saikat reviewed the replays, and on the basis of the primary evidence that he had on the deflection on that delivery, Yashasvi Jaiswal was given out, overturning the decision of Joel Wilson, which pretty much divided the opinions. Indian fans at MCG really calling the entire proceeding and showing their frustration, venting out, with chants of cheaters, but if you look at the decision, how it panned out, as you can see on the screen very much clearly, the replay show there was a very clear deflection there as the ball passed Yashasvi Jaiswal a glove, and noted umpire Simon Toffel also said that the TV umpire's decision here was right, because there is a hierarchy of redundancy which the TV umpires use. The first primary evidence was this deflection itself, which was what Saikat, the third umpire, went in with. The sneakometer did definitely come in, but that was only to confirm or just to support the fact that whether the deflection also was picked up, the audio of the deflection was picked up on the sneakometer, which unfortunately was not the case. And here is where the veracity of the technology also comes into play. But when the sneako did not show any spike, which has led to the controversy, when it was flashed on the big screen, everybody saw it. Even Yashasvi Jaiswal was aghast with the fact that there was no sneakometer, there was no reading on sneakometer, yet he was given out. But the decision to give Jaiswal out was based on the primary evidence, which was the deflection here, and there was no other need for Saikat, the third umpire, to go to his secondary form of evidence, which was the sneakometer. Yeah, he stuck to his first evidence, which was the deflection, and that is where India pretty much lost out the game, because if Jaiswal would have continued to bat for another 10-15 overs, which was close to the stumps on day 5 itself, India could have salvaged a draw, but that wicket really opened up the floodgates for Australia, and India went on to lose 3 more quick wickets, and Australia wrapped up the innings claiming a win, and they head into the Sydney test with a lead of 2.
Imam Laminates presents CNN News 18 Primetime Studio.
A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're coming to you live from CNN News 18 Primetime Studio, presented by Green Lamb Laminates. Well, you're watching The Right Stand, and today our top focus is on the political blows that are being exchanged in this cold season ahead of polls in the national capital. While the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party have been at loggerheads over a host of issues, be it welfare schemes or illegal Bangladeshi migrants or even salary for priests of different faiths, the latest flashpoint is that of illegal voter manipulation. While the BJP was the first to approach the Election Commission officials while seeking intervention over illegal voters in Delhi, the Aam Aadmi Party has been unrelenting in accusing the Bharatiya Janata Party of voter manipulation. Before we talk about this back and forth between the two parties, here on CNN News 18, we decided to do a fact check by travelling through some of the assembly segments in the national capital. Are some voters unaccounted for? Are there voters enlisted on electoral rolls but nowhere to be found? We tried to do a reality check, and here's what we found. Let's go across to the first ground report that we've managed to put together for you. The findings of this report are essentially around Moti Nagar in the national capital. The first big revelation on your screens, a site in Moti Nagar has 26 registered voters. That's right, but here's where it gets problematic. The big revelation number 2, 26 voters registered at an open plot. This is an open plot with just an electricity meter. What explains this? Furthermore, 14 voters confirm living in nearby areas. And to add to this, the fourth big revelation, there's been no contact with at least 12 of these 26 voters. Akash, my colleague, managed to put together these exclusive inputs in this ground report. Take a look.
Ghost voters or the illegal voters is one of the prominent issues here in the national capital ahead of assembly elections. Today I'm standing here at one location in Moti Nagar, and behind me are the visuals of one said property where we have 26 voters registered, but in actuality on ground we have no one living here, and to our surprise, in fact there is no rooftop. I'm showing you the visuals of this electricity meter. That is the only proof that okay, this is T82, and BJP at this point in time has been flagging cases like such for illegal votes here in the national capital. In fact, we saw several videos just ahead of assembly elections where Bharatiya Janata Party leaders are categorically saying that Aam Aadmi Party leaders are somewhere involved in these fake votes.
So there you see what is the idea around ghost voters in the national capital and what explains this pattern. Before we move on, let's talk about another reality check that we attempted from Shadra in the national capital. Once again, the big revelation coming in through the course of our investigations. A woman says there are several additional voters registered at her address. We'll put out those details in just a bit on your screens as well on what this really entails and what this means. But yes, here's a woman in Shadra. When we confronted her at her residence, she says there are additional voters registered at her residence. The second big revelation that came in from the area is from Dilshad Garden, where the RWA says over 200 people who've shifted out years ago still find a mention in the voters list. Once again, raises several questions, and Priyanka, my colleague, put together this ground report from the area. Take a look.
वोट डिलीशन को लेकर जिस असेंबली का या जिस कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी का सबसे ज्यादा नाम चल रहा है वो है शाहदरा असेंबली। शाहदरा असेंबली में इस वक्त हमारी मौजूदगी है। ये कलंदर कॉलोनी है, पतली पतली गलियां, यहाँ पर तमाम लोग यहाँ पर खड़े हो गए हैं। अब यहाँ पर क्या है कि ये एक घर है E59/212। तो ये घर है, वो शायद यही घर है 212। आप लोगों का अभी कितने परिवार में कितने सदस्य?
हमारे बहू बेटे लेके और हम लेके 9 सदस्य हैं।
9 सदस्य।
हाँ,
वोटर आई कार्ड
लड़की एकदम, हाँ सब किया है।
ठीक है।
एक हसन नाम होएगा ना, वो हमारा बड़ा जमाई है।
अच्छा,
हाँ
वो सब यही रहते हैं?
हाँ यहीं रहते हैं।
ठीक है। तो यहाँ पर ये बता रहे हैं कि तकरीबन जो 12, 13, 14 के तकरीबन जो इनके घर के आसपास के जो वो हैं, इनमें ये बता रहे हैं कि कुछ लोग जो हैं वो 10 साल पहले बम्बई शिफ्ट हो गए हैं। 2 लोग बहनोई और
बहनोई 2 लखीमपुर में है। और एक जो वो मामा का लड़का था, बहू था, वो बम्बई में रह रहा है, यहाँ नहीं रह रहा है। हाँ, हमारे घर में किराए पे रहते थे।
अच्छा, तब बनाया होगा, लेकिन अब चले गए हैं।
अब वो चले गए हैं।
ठीक है। तो यहाँ पर आपको जो एक एड्रेस पे हमने नाम थे वो इनसे बताए, जो घर की यहाँ पर मालकिन कहें वो यहाँ पर मौजूद है, और उन्होंने बताया कि कितने सदस्य इनके रहते हैं। उनका कहना है कि इनका ये घर है, बेटे का घर थोड़ा सा आगे है, दूसरे एक और बेटे का घर आगे है, लेकिन जितने सदस्य यहाँ पर हैं और जिनके वोट इनके हैं, इन्होंने यहाँ पर बता दिया है। इसके अलावा जिनके नामों पे इन्होंने हामी नहीं भरी है, बताया है कि 10 साल पहले कुछ बंबई चले गए हैं, 5-6 साल पहले 2 लोग जो है वो लखीमपुर वापस चले गए हैं, पर वोटर लिस्ट में फिलहाल उनका नाम यहाँ पर नजर आ रहा है। और इसी तरीके के ज्यादातर मामले जो हैं वो शाहदरा असेंबली में समझ आ रहे हैं।
Now, these viewers are just 2 examples of how the number of voters in some assembly constituencies in Delhi aren't adding up, or to say the least are unaccounted for, either don't stay on their registered addresses anymore or are nowhere to be found. But at the core of this issue lies the allegations by the Aam Aadmi Party convener. Arvind Kejriwal has been doing press conference one after the other to allege voter manipulation by the BJP. He has cited the example of his own constituency where he says applications have been filed seeking removal of 5,000 voters, an addition of over 7,000 voters. He says this is part of BJP conspiracy to change the electoral makeup of Delhi. The BJP on its part says there is a suspicious rush of new registrations of voters and has called it Kejriwal's manipulation plan that is set to affect 70 constituencies in Delhi. The app, in fact, has once again also raked the issue of Rohingyas in Delhi while pinning the blame solely on the BJP, even calling for the arrest of Union Minister Hardeep Singh Puri. The minister on his part is hit back while showing the mirror to the app. So the battle is certainly heating up. Hear it for yourself.
और आपने देखा होगा कि उसके बाद पूरे दिल्ली में इन्होंने एक अभियान चला दिया नाम कटवाने का।